NFL combine over this past week, weekend into the weekend with some of these players. I want to start real quick with I always look at Mel Kiper. Did Mel Kiper never played any football?
No,
Um,
no.
how in the world did Mel Kiper how how did Mel Kiper actually become this draft expert? I guess when you around the game and you study the game, then you could become a draft expert. But I always wondered that, like, how did Mel Kiper actually become this guru, and he never even touched a football before. But anyway, um,
You
so
sounded like my man from the Colts
Yep.
couple
Tre-
decades ago.
Trev Alberts, right?
The
yeah,
Trev Albers pick.
The
That
Trev
yeah,
Alberts pick.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
how he became the guru. Yep.
the guru, yes.
That's how he became the
So
guru.
all right, so with just speaking of Mel Kiper, so he had his draft standouts, right?
Yep.
And here I'm just going to read down his draft standouts from top to bottom. He had Mike Washington Jr., running back from Arkansas. Um, he
Yeah,
had
yeah.
Chris Brazzell II, wide receiver from Tennessee. Um, Zachariah Branch, wide receiver, Georgia. Caden Proctor, offensive tackle, Alabama. Danny Dennis Sutton, defensive end, Penn State. Malachi Lawrence, outside linebacker, UCF. Jack Kelly, linebacker, BYU. Caution Shara, linebacker, Iowa. Now I've seen him, the linebacker from Iowa. I've seen him. He looked pretty good. D'Angelo Pons, cornerback from Indiana. Charles Dominguez, cornerback. Stephen F. Austin. Kyle Lewis, safety, linebacker, Pittsburgh. And Jelon Kilgore, safety, South Carolina. Oh, and the last person he had is Bud Clark, safety, TCU. Do any of those names jump out to any of you guys? Like, before he even had them on his list, you know, does any of those names jump out?
Yeah, yeah. I watched the entire combine. Just except well, I missed some of the lineman stuff at the beginning, but everything else I watched.
Yeah,
The first name you call Washington Jr.
yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, he had a good showing. Um,
Okay.
I believe he ran the fastest time for all of the running backs.
Yeah.
I think he ran like a 4.33. Um, let me put it like this: when like for him specifically, he made me go back and watch. Like I went on YouTube and watch his highlights.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I had to go back and watch his highlight. He looks he's a solid back. He looks like a
Yeah.
solid back. A lot of burst. He had a lot of plus 10 yard runs, which is critical for if you're looking for a running back that can kind of break it, give you some you know uh, some plus net yardage after contact.
Hmm.
So he had a pretty good showing. Looked fluid. He it didn't look like a manufactured speed. It looked like real athletic. Hey, I can just put on my shoes and run a 4.4 something like that. But yeah, I like Mike Washington, Zachariah Branch. Um, so he actually started his college career with USC. I remember
Okay.
watching him his rookie, not his rookie, his freshman season. He was there with Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
Um, Deadly returner. He's a really good punt returner. He transferred, went to Georgia. Didn't really have the pop that he was looking for. I think he wanted to really kind of, you know, be like a contender for a top player in the nation,
Hmm.
but he really couldn't get it going. But the athleticism was there. He came out. I think he ended up running a 4.31 or no 4.35, I
Hmm.
believe.
Hmm. That's
Was it
what it
four
was.
three
Four
five?
three five.
Yeah,
Yep.
four three
Four three
five.
five.
Yeah.
Yep.
What was interesting? His first run was a 4.4.
Mm.
Right? He had
Yeah.
a 4.41 his first run. And I remember when I'm like, I know this guy. I watched him. I'm like, faster than this. It
Right.
didn't make any sense. And I'm watching him like, I know he faster than the 4.41. He came out that second, because they get two shots at it. And
Right.
on the second shot, he ran a 4.35. And I think they said that was the biggest jump between runs of any of
Yeah.
the, of the candidates during this combine. But
Yeah.
super fast, super quick. He's a slot guy. He's small. He's
Okay.
like
That's what I was
maybe,
gonna ask you.
yeah,
Yep.
he's
Because
small.
they say he's 5'9", and I was like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, okay,
And not a Steve Smith's 5'9", because Steve Smith, he was like stocky at
right,
5'9".
right,
He's
yeah,
he has a slender build.
okay,
Okay, so he's someone, I don't think you're gonna really use him on the outside too much. He's gonna be a slot guy. He's super quick,
mm,
so he can definitely work the space there. But he can double up as a returner, either on the kick return or the punt return.
yeah,
So I think he's someone who's definitely going to get picked up somewhere in the middle rounds, probably in the third round.
okay, okay. I was gonna ask you if you thought he was a first rounder or not. So he slot guy, definitely looked like he would be in the, and like you say, second, third round.
Yeah.
Um,
Who were some of the other names?
you had Caden Proctor, offensive tackle, Alabama. I don't I don't know him, but he's 6'7", 352 pounds. Um, he's gonna he got the size.
He
Six
got the
seven.
size,
Yeah,
and he carries it pretty well.
yeah.
Proctor, I think he ran above a 5 second 40, which is to be expected at that size,
5.2. Yeah.
Hmm.
right? But everyone was talking about how smooth he looked.
Right,
And when I
right.
saw him, he was just gliding right across the field. So
Yeah,
he didn't look like he didn't look like he was carrying it. He looked like it was just, everything was just,
Yep.
he was really, really, really smooth with his motions. When they were doing the drill, right? When they would lay
right.
on their back, get up, shuffle their feet, they were looking particularly about how the offensive linemen get up,
Yep.
right? Are they getting up like in stages, knee, hand, up, or are they like
He did it
popping
pop.
up?
Popping
Right.
up. Yeah,
And he was
He was
he
popping
was
up.
popping up at that size,
Yeah.
and then shuffling
right.
from side to side. So yeah, he athletically, he looks good, right? I want to caveat to all of this. This is a combine. They're not wearing pads. They're in t-shirts and shorts. If you're really athletic, you're gonna look good in these situations.
Hmm.
Of course, you want to supplement it with the tape. The tape should be the defining factor. And
Right.
Doc, I'll let Doc talk, because Doc and I, we've been talking about this. I'm not gonna steal his thunder on this one, but this shouldn't be a you shouldn't be jumping to conclusions just because they had a really good combine. This should be something where you're like, okay, yeah, this is what I thought this guy was going to be, or maybe
Mm.
he's not as athletic as I thought he was going to be. However, the tape is still showing that he's going to be a good player or not.
Yeah, yeah.
Lee, do you remember D'Angelo Pons? Who's the cornerback from Indiana? Undersized guy, like at 5'9", 180, but his vert was like 43.5 inches. And they're
Yes.
they're projecting him to be like maybe second round pick, probably slot corner.
Hmm.
But just the athleticism kind of showed. He played well, last season especially. But yeah, I'm talking about his vertical jump. I think that's the only thing he did, but it was quite impressive
Exactly.
for the
He
height.
did right. He didn't run, and with the vertical jumps, they more so they don't show that during the combine live. They just show like the taping of it if it
Yeah.
if it stood out. So I didn't really get to see much of him during the combine. But I do remember the name, of course, with that team, with Indiana winning the championship. Uh, don't know much about him. I think he's a bit undersized for the
He's
position,
5'9". Yeah,
right?
5'9", 182.
So he's probably gonna come in wherever he goes, and he's gonna be like that nickel guy,
Yep.
uh, covering a Zachariah Branch type player.
Yeah.
But definitely, there's a lot of need for a player like that, where you got a lot of 11 personnel, taking place right now in the NFL.
Mm.
No, but no, but getting back to what we were talking about with the combine, like the combine is like this like 4-day test, like different positions, do the test on different days, right? And as Lee was kind of suggesting, the combine is supposed to kind of help you answer questions or validate what you thought of guys through their college football season, right? But you shouldn't be coming into the combine completely blind, and because someone has a great athletic showing, thinking we needs to get that guy because
Yeah.
there's at least 12 games of tape to let you know whether he can play or he can't play, right?
Yeah.
So like a good rule of thumb is whatever grade you get, this is old school, like A plus to D minus, right? You might be able to go up like a slight grade, so like B plus to A minus, or drop down from A minus to like B plus B, but you shouldn't be a C plus on the grade, and then after the combine, you B plus A minus.
Right.
Like you
Right.
you're taking too much stock in the test, and to some degree, all tests do is examine how well you prepare for the test.
What a test, right?
The test don't say how good of a player you are. It just says how good you prepare for the test, right?
Yeah.
Um, the so like for example, they're talking about Sonny Styles and like his arm length is relatively short, right? For
Yeah.
a linebacker, right? And it's like, okay, well, he's going against Big Ten schools. He wasn't shot against Wisconsin. A couple tackles against Wisconsin, but against in Illinois, he had 10 tackles. Most of the games, he had 6 to 8 tackles as an off-ball linebacker, right? So if he's playing off the ball, he's going to be doing a lot of stuff in pursuit, a lot of stuff in space, chasing the quarterback from the blind side. Like
Yeah.
this is not your like nose tackle who is physically going up and trying to get leverage and trying to get close. And
Yeah.
even for the
It
folks who are worried about being undersized, they were saying some things about Aaron Donald when he was coming out that he was short and stocky, and they
undersized.
weren't sure if he could extend, and so he just leveraged it to get more speed, really good with his hands, so they
Right.
can't get to him versus just extension. So um the interesting thing was with the linemen, as Lee was saying, they were looking at how athletic they are, the pop getting up versus knee hand steps, and then as they're shifting, there are some guys who have that, like when I say that proprioception, they never lose their balance, right? So they stop and shift right back again fluidly. There's some guys that kind of do like the 3-step to slow down and then got to speed back up again. And then you had the guys who were slipping, right? Like they can't
Yeah.
they whether they have bad shoes or they just can't get their center of gravity, under them. They're sliding. They're literally skating on turf, you know. And so those are the folks where you'd be like, hey, this is someone where if he's going and there's a quick guy and the guy changes direction, is he going to lose his balance?
Yeah.
Because just trying to get him to go left, right, he's sliding on turf. And whether that's just his lack of athleticism or not being prepared enough to bring the right shoes, either way is a concern. Not enough to drop him off the board, but you got to take that into account that, hey, it doesn't come naturally for him as some of the other guys where they're just gliding. They're like this light on their feet, going back and forth, going back and forth. So and so that's the thing, no offense to your Eagles, but back in the day, Mike Mamula, right? Like that was the
Yeah.
classic. No one knew who this dude was until the combine, had all
Yeah.
these awesome stats, ends up being a first round pick, and
Crazy.
doesn't do anything because
Doesn't do
he
a
didn't
thing.
do anything in Boston College, right?
Right. Yeah.
And so that's always the worry, is because someone looks good statistics wise at the combine, people now start getting enamored. There's a quarterback for Arkansas who like ran like a 4.37,
4.36.
4.38,
Taylor
Taylor
Green.
Green. Taylor Green.
right? And now all of a sudden folks are like, hey, like who's gonna take him, right? Like, oh, if we could just, right? And that's the thing. It's, oh, if we
Right.
could only just take those combine stats and infuse that into a quarterback that does everything else quarterbacks are supposed to do, he'll
Right,
be
right.
great. But
Yeah.
oftentimes it don't pan out because there's a lot more to it than just running in shorts,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna ask
but
y'all about this tight end, Kenyon Sadiq. Um, so he ran a 4.39 as a tight end. I think the fastest ever tight end time ran by a tight end, right? And so reason why I was looking at him is because they say he kind of popped out there as a tight end, and they thought he was going to be like towards the end of the first round. But now this dude is like gonna be in the top 10 from what I'm seeing because Philadelphia Eagles was looking at this guy as a tight end to pick him since Dallas Goddard is leaving. And so now that's not gonna happen
Mm-mm.
because he just jumped off the. So talk what you know about him, Lee? I see you. What you know about him?
He has the production to back it up.
Yeah,
That's what I know about him. He has the production.
gotcha.
So Oregon, he's an Oregon guy. Okay.
Yeah.
He took over from Terrence Ferguson, who we drafted last year.
Mm,
And this guy, man, he's hard to bring down, right? He
yeah.
has strong hands, doesn't have a lot of length in his arms, and
Right.
I think he does have a little bit of, he has some drops, but for the most part, when you look at the tape, you look at his highlights, he's catching the ball in traffic, he's breaking tackles, long
Mm,
runs,
mm.
extending plays, right? He's like a game breaker at the tight end position.
Wow.
So when he came in here, and this is one of those situations where you like a guy, he has good tape, he looks like a good football player. Does the measurements match up with what we're seeing on tape, and then it exceeds that? Someone like that, he's gonna go up a couple of spots, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And they already had him tapped as a first round guy, so yeah, it's totally feasible for now someone a team where, hey, our tight end isn't that great, right?
Right.
Let's
Right.
get this guy, right? So now he
Mm,
can be a piece, not just a tight end, but a
yeah.
piece you can put on the offense that can help really get you more points.
Yeah. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And on top of all of that, he's a good run blocker, right?
Yeah.
So
That's
he
big.
he he, he isn't a Jimmy Graham, right? He isn't just a
Right.
guy that
Right.
you're gonna put out there to catch the ball. He's actually
Catchable. Right.
can he's gonna actually run block for you as well.
Yeah. Yeah. That's big. That's big. His name definitely jumped off of there for me. But the fastest time in the combine, Brennan Thompson, wide receiver, from Mississippi State, 4.26. Um, that's man blazing. You
Yep.
ever heard of him?
Nope.
Not before the combine.
Nope. Nope.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Before the
he's
Yeah.
combine.
one of those guys where you got what um, John Ross,
John
right?
Ross. Yes. Yes.
Hen-
Yes.
Henry Ruggs, right?
Yep.
Hit, bro. Yep.
Yep. You got these
Yep.
guys, a whole lot of wide receivers who ran fast. I mean, Xavier Worthy. The only reason Xavier
Xavier
Worthy is
Worthy.
even
Yep.
no, is even a name is because he's with the Chiefs and they're trying to force him the ball. But I mean, he isn't lighting the league up, right? He isn't lighting it on
Yeah.
fire. You got a
Right.
lot of guys at that wide receiver position who ran fast, just like Brennan. They're not doing anything, and I don't
Yeah.
see anything in his skill set that's gonna make me believe that he can come in and be a number one wide receiver.
Yeah. Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah. I was just looking at that and I was like, I never heard of this kid before. But
Hmm.
so going back to Doc, going back to some of the drills and stuff like that. You know, I look at the combine. I'm just like everybody else. I'm looking to see who run the fastest and and that and whatnot. Um, One drill that I really don't understand for wide receivers. I don't know if DBs run this drill too, but anyway, they're running across the field from sideline to sideline, and they're getting thrown the ball from left and right. They got to catch the
Yep.
ball, drop it, and they run and catch the ball. If I'm a wide receiver, I need to hold on to the ball. Why am I dropping the ball? And running. That drill just don't make any sense to me. I Can you
Makes a
make
lot
any
of
sense
sense.
of that? Like
Oh,
what's the deal?
let me take a stab and then Lee could fill in whatever I missed. So So they're deliberately running down the middle, so they're looking left and they're looking right. So that's on that one pass, you see if they're stronger catching one side versus the other. Some guys prefer the
Hmm.
ball, or they catch well on the left side but not their right side. So that's one reason you have them going back and forth, right? Um, you're also trying to see, do they catch the ball well with their hands, right? So are they actually catching the ball with their hands extended, or are they, trapping it against their body? Which is a worry because that means, your 50-50 balls, are they going to be able to go get the ball? Now, some of that's going to just depend on how good the quarterbacks are throwing them the ball. And you'll see sometimes them having to really go and extend, which if they catch it, then kind of helps, they can, catch these balls that aren't in the sweet spot, right? I do think the tricky part is they have to establish the catch, and then they drop the ball as quickly as possible to go back into their route running to look to the other side, look for the next ball. So that's where it looks weird, where it almost looks like they have bricks for hands because it hits and drops, but they
Right. Right.
catch it for like a tenth of a second, and then they let it go to get back into their almost like their stem route tree to then look for the ball on the other side. So
Yeah.
a little bit of just kind of luck of the draw what quarterbacks are throwing you the ball, but that's where having to go left to right to left to right just so you can make sure they can catch both sides well versus having a preference or a stronger side on a weaker side.
Hmm.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, you hit it. It really doesn't matter who's throwing the ball, right? Like my old coach, you say, you touch it, you catch it, right? So,
That's a wide receiver approach right there.
oh yeah, you touch it, you catch it, and for the most part, when you look at the drill, the balls have been they were pretty accurate. Evaluators could tell if it was just a poorly thrown ball, and they
Right.
wouldn't
Right. Right.
expect him to, because you have to keep moving, right? So this isn't
Yeah.
a situation like you said, Links, where you hold on to the ball, you catch it, you drop it, and then you have to keep your head on the swivel. Like Doc
Yeah.
said, you got to see, they want to see if you can catch it on either side. But more importantly, well, equally as important as all of that is that they're coming down that line, right? And the NFL, they did a really good job during this drill. They showed actually Puka Nakua doing the drill when he did the combine, and then they showed plays that McVay drew up in game with him running down the sideline, catching the ball, breaking it for a score, or
Mm.
breaking it for a long game. The
Okay.
real impetus of this is the fact that you want to be able to catch the ball, and they want to see if they're going to be able to catch the ball and actually continue along the line, and catch it
Straight
in
line. Yeah.
motion, and
I
catch
got
it in motion, and continue to play yards after the catch. That's what that play is about. Yards after
got
catch capabilities. Um, I want to say, because I know, Doc, you just said that, if it's a 50-50 ball in the middle of the field, you better catch that with your body.
you.
You better catch that with your
You
body,
get, you
right?
get,
Because
yeah, you get
the
light up.
defender, they will knock, not just light you up. You
Yeah,
definitely get lit up, but the
yeah,
defender could easily knock it out of your hand,
I
right?
got you. Yeah.
In the words of
Hmm.
Michael Irvin, the guy who say don't catch the ball with your body in the middle of the field, he never made a play, right? He never made a play. You catch that ball with the
Yeah,
body to protect the ball from the
right.
defender, absorb the hit, and at least come down. But if you're in a position where you got a yard after catch opportunity, you catch it with your
Hmm.
hands and then you keep it moving.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good point. You say that because I've seen AJ Brown do this a lot, and
Mm-hmm.
now that you guys were explaining that, I've seen AJ Brown where if he's coming on a slant, and he reaches out, snatches that ball, and boom, he's gone. And
Mm-hmm.
that is true. When you can do that as a receiver, and I know you mentioned Puka, and I've seen him do that. When you could do that as a receiver, you really get the advantage because you grabbing that ball out of the air so fast, and now you making your move and you going downfield. That's making sense.
Amon
Makes sense.
Ross St. Brown, he's
Almond Ra.
excellent
Yeah,
at that.
yeah,
Excellent with
mhm,
that.
yeah. That's interesting. It just baffles me sometimes when I look at the combine and I see some of these drills and I'm like, but yeah, I guess that's why it's there. That's why it's there for some of these guys, to it does translate to some of the plays that um, coaches call in the games.
Oh yeah, they every drill that they run during the combine, it is simulating a real game situation. that they feel for that position, that position would find itself in on a high percentage,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Same thing with the
Yeah.
running backs. They got these running back play drills. Particularly, they have this Deuce Staley drill. Remember your boy
Yep.
Deuce Staley?
Yep.
He
Yep.
invented
Yep.
a drill that has been now a staple in the
Yep.
combine, and I don't know, like feet are just moving. Their
Feet.
feet is
Yeah.
just going this up, down, right, left, back,
Yes.
forth, and then zip.
Yep.
And
Yep.
they got to do it without hitting the bag.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, I've seen that drill, and I remember when Deuce was actually running it one year. I think it might have been the year he introduced it or something like that, or put it in.
Mm.
And man, I was watching these guys' feet, man, and I was watching some of the running backs, just a little bit, couple of highlights, and man, I mean, talk about quick feet
Quick
and
feet.
shiftiness and being able to move your body, flip your hips, and I mean, it's amazing to see how athletic these guys are, man. It's just, and they getting bigger, faster, and stronger. It was one guy, I'm trying to remember his name. I can't find it, but he was a bigger guy that really ran. I don't know if that was the guy you was talking about, Lee, but he was a
Jeremiah
running back.
Love. Jeremiah Love.
Yes, yes, big dude, and he is rolling, man.
Let me tell you,
Golly,
he's not a running back. He's not a
yeah,
running back. That dude he's a weapon. He's a weapon. Like he's not. You have running backs,
right.
and then you got him.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
He is. I don't know how to explain him because I was watching him. I've been watching him since his sophomore season in Notre Dame.
Mm.
What stood out to me was I think it was a playoff game that they had against Penn State. Okay, and he was a sophomore. And he was lighting them up. But in this combine, he ran what, a 4.3,
Something like that.
4.3,
Yeah,
4.32, 4.37, something like that.
yeah.
Um, let me look up his measurables. So yeah, Jeremiah, he ran a 4.36,
Mm-hmm.
right? 4.36. And he didn't do nothing else. That's all he had to do, right?
Yeah,
But
that's
he
it.
did the drills. And when you see him run the drills, fluid, no
Yeah,
wasted step. For a guy that size to be as nimble and as shifty as he is, he's a Bijan Robinson type.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely could see it. I could see it.
The league has changed, but 40 years ago, he'd be the number one pick.
Yes.
In the 80s, he would be
Yes.
the number one pick, and
Absolutely.
it would not be up for
It
debate.
wouldn't be close. It wouldn't be
He would be the number
close.
one pick. So
Yeah,
Kajana Carter.
yeah, yeah. Nice.
that's crazy, man. It's crazy to see, how how freakishly athletic, these guys are, man. It's
And
crazy. So yeah,
he's only 20.
he's only 20.
I think he's only 20.
Wow, man. Um, all right. I wanna switch gears real quick and look at some of these. We know free agency is coming up, starting next week. Well, is it next week? No, I think maybe week after next. I think the 11th. And I want to go. I'm just gonna go read down the top 10 free agents on ESPN who they're
Next
saying
week.
they rank them from 1 to 100. I'm not gonna go down that whole list, but they say number one, Trey Hendrickson. Number two, Tyler Linderbaum, he's a center. Number three, Jalen Phillips, with the edge rusher with the Eagles. Number four, Alec Pierce, Indianapolis Colts wide receiver. Number five, Rasheed Walker, offensive tackle, Green Bay Packers. Odafa Awe, edge for the Chargers. Braden Smith, offensive tackle, Indianapolis Colts. Franklin Myers, defensive lineman, Broncos. Alante Taylor, cornerback, New Orleans. Quay Walker, linebacker, Green Bay. And then they got, I'm just going to throw him in there, Reek Woolen, cornerback for Seattle. We know we hear these names. And also, well, I'm going to just say this real quick. Mike Evans, wide receiver, Tampa Bay. They got him on there. I don't think Mike Evans is going anywhere.
No.
He's going to stay in Tampa Bay. He's been in Tampa Bay. He's 33 years old. I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he's going to be, he's going to be there in Tampa Bay. That's where he's made his bed and lying in there over there. But Trey Hendrickson, I want to bring him up real quick. We know, he Cincinnati is Cincinnati. He came in last year, Lee. I think you said in like 4 or 5 games or whatever, and I had like 2 sacks or something like that, which was good for the amount of games that he came in and played. He's 31 years old. Um, is he going to? Is he still going to be a factor? Seeing that he's coming off of injuries from not practicing all the way through and going through camp and all that stuff like that. Is he going to be They say he's the number 1 free agent. You guys think so, or what? What you think?
Because he is a free agent. Like he has no contract. Bengals ain't getting nothing for him. He walking free and clear, right?
Yeah.
And for what he's done, last year is the aberration. The 3 previous years, top 3, top 5 defensive end rushing the quarterback, right? And to be able to get him, the issue, of course, is one, the age, because a lot of these guys tend to fall off a cliff once they get past 30 and coming off the injury. But there's going to be several different teams where like they can't not take the chance, right? Like he's gonna get 20, maybe even 25 mil, right? Just because someone that they're gonna want to get him and hope because it's not just him rushing the quarterback. Now that most teams are going to be double teaming him, it makes everybody else on that defensive line better.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and I want to emphasize this because I called this out at the beginning of the season. When you got these defensive plays and they hold out, because he held out, right?
Yeah.
Micah Parsons, he held out, right? That's not a good recipe for long-term health that season. It has been documented that when you have a defensive play, especially one that plays on the line, linebacker, rushing, and they hold out, they're not getting the treatment, they're not getting the reps, they're not getting, right? They're not getting the reps that they need to get their body ready for the season.
Yeah.
They end up with these soft tissue issues or ligament issues that spins up. And that's what happened with Trey. So Trey, he held out, came in, played 7 games, 4 sacks. Okay, pretty good. Season got cut short because he got nicked up, he got dinged up. But I think that was just a result of him not being prepared for the season. Give him a full off season. I think the next team that picks him up, they're going to pay him somewhere near, not at the top, but middle, high middle, right? And which is where I think he should fall right now at 31. He's going to produce. He's going to produce. You put him on a good team with a good defensive coordinator, I think he'll be a really good pickup especially for a team that's vying for a playoff run or a Super Bowl.
You give him what? 2 years? He's 31. You give him 2 years?
Yeah, I think he could play 2 more years.
2 years.
Okay. Yeah, I think he play 2 more years.
A really good team will sign him to a 4-year deal that's voidable after 2 years.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So
'cause
just depending on how things go, if he falls off the cliff year 2, you can cut him after 2 years and you ain't got to worry about it.
Yeah. I definitely could see him falling off the cliff. Like he's 31, like you said. After you get over 30, man, it you don't have much more time left, especially as an edge rusher. So, but I remember, Lee, you did say early on in this season, when we were talking about him earlier last season, you did say he really didn't play that much throughout his career. So he's still kind of little got some tread on his tires.
Here still,
Yeah.
So, yeah. Alec Pierce. I've never heard of Alec Pierce before. wide receiver for Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah, man. He was there. He was their deep threat.
It's a deep threat.
He was the deep threat last year. Um,
Huh.
Not a lot of volume, but
Yeah.
his average per catch is out. It's crazy. I think he had like
Yeah.
47 receptions, over 1,000 yards, and maybe 10 plus touchdowns.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I never.
yeah.
yeah, he was there. He stretched the defense, and he was making big play after big play. He just didn't have a lot of opportunity. So
Right.
like if
Right.
you
Right.
gave him if he had more targets,
Yeah.
right? Because everyone was stacking the box too with Jonathan Taylor. So he
Yeah.
was he was one on one, and he was blown by those cornerbacks, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
For the older listeners, think well, not quite the same blazing speed, but Deshaun Jackson or back with the Cowboys. What's your boy's name? The other receiver, not Michael Irvin,
Alvin Harper.
Alvin Hopper, right? Like those
Mm.
guys who 3 catches for like
Speedy.
97 yards and a touchdown,
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
right? Like
Okay.
yeah, like
He was
that's
that guy.
yeah. He's the guy that makes you pay when you stack the box and try to take yeah. He going yeah 1-on-1, taking lid off. Can't stay
Mm.
with him.
Where is Malik Willis gonna go? They got
Oof.
him ranked as number 14 free agent. He's 27. Um, we know he stepped in kind of okay for Jordan Love there. For a couple games, I think. Um, is he a franchise QB? Where somebody is actually going to pay him. I think somebody's going to give him a chance, but I don't know if he's a franchise QB.
What what do you mean by franchise QB?
Are you going to pay him the big dollars as a top tier quarterback to run your organization? Are you going to go all in on Malik Willis and say, he's our guy? We want him to take our team to the next level.
I think if a team's going to pay him 30 to 35 mil a year for 3 years, yeah, I can see some teams doing that. You're not going to pay him 45, 50. He hasn't done anything to get that much money per year.
Mm,
But um, I don't think he's going to be the Joe Burrow, Matthew Stafford type quarterback. But the Sam Darnold, the Daniel Jones, the guy who will move the chains, balanced offense, can move and get some first downs with his feet. Yeah. Like if you need a dude who can lead you to a Super Bowl, yes, I think Lake Willis is that good. Is he gonna carry a team to a Super Bowl? I don't think he's that guy. I think he can lead
Uh,
a team to Super Bowl. I don't think he can carry a team to Super Bowl. And too many teams expect the quarterback to carry them.
yeah,
But I
yeah.
think he's good enough to lead a team to Super Bowl.
Yeah, I definitely concur with that. But I think his situation's got a little bit more murky with the news that came out today with Kyler Murray.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Because
So
Kyler Murray,
so right. So
yeah,
Cardinals they told him that they're going to
Release him.
cut him at the
yeah,
beginning at the start of the new year for the NFL.
right,
So I think some of those options that were going to be there for Malik Willis, they're not going to be there because I think people are going to want to kick the tires on Kyler Murray first because
yeah,
he's not going to command a lot of money.
right, right.
Okay,
Yeah,
because
that's a good
Cardinals
point.
Cardinals still owes him what 34 million next year, so he's still getting that check, so he can go anywhere for the league minimum and try to make a run
Right,
if
right.
he's smart. That's what
Yeah,
that's what I would do. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's
If
interesting because
it's a
yeah,
yeah.
big if.
Wow.
yeah.
If yeah. I saw that too with Kyler Murray. But one thing on Malik Willis real quick, just to tie this up. You know, Sean Mannion in Green Bay, who's now the offensive coordinator with the Eagles, was the QB coach who kind of coached up Malik Willis. Depending on where he goes, he needs to have a QB coach that can really really dial in on his strengths, and he needs to go to a team that is going to be able to utilize his strengths. How many times have we seen this in free agency where you in a good system with the right system for you, but then you go
Hmm.
to another team, they give you the money, and ain't nothing happening.
Yeah,
So all of that got to play and playing into his success if that does happen.
If
absolutely.
if 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 the Minnesota Vikings were going to sign a veteran quarterback,
That's
I I I pray to God it's Malik Willis and
that's a
not
good
Kyler
one.
Murray,
It's gonna
That's
be
a good
Kyler
one.
Murray.
right?
if
I
if
no, I no, I'm
Kyler
just
Murray,
I'm hearing a lot of whispers, and
ooh,
they're matching up Kyler with
Yes,
the Vikings.
they are so
Because
excited.
The Vikings are like 40 million over the cap,
Yep,
something like that.
mm, yeah,
So
so he'd be yeah,
yeah.
right. But
wow,
but when you
mm,
think of the reputation and the whispers of Kyler Murray,
Hmm.
that he doesn't put in the work to learn the playbook, watch the videos, study the tape, that's not going to work within a corner,
Right,
right?
right,
Quarter
right,
whisperer coach he is. If they're doing putting in the work, it ain't going to get no payoff, right?
yeah,
right.
Whereas with Malik Willis, having been in Green Bay, Green Bay's head coach and the Vikings head coach, both from that McVay system. So in terms of him learning the playbook, it's not going to be that different. The concepts are
yeah,
going to be similar, right? So that's another reason why it would make sense schematically. Now, financially, it's a whole other situation, right?
yeah.
But
Yeah,
I would have concerns for Kyler Murray being in Minnesota.
Mm.
So
yeah, not only that. I think there was trying to, I want to find who made the report, but there was a recent report that came out about him still seeing himself as a playmaker. This Kyler Murray. Okay, he's 29. He had what, a knee injury a couple of years ago.
yep,
Uh, and at this stage in your career, not to say that his step has been dramatically compromised, but he's not as fast and quick as he was. He's still fast and quicker than most. But you would hope that at this stage in his career, he'd be more on rhythm, on time, like
Hmm.
working through the play, right, to get the ball to the playmakers. That type of quarterback. The Minnesota Vikings, they don't need a playmaker at the quarterback position. They just need a quarterback that can get the ball to Addison and Jefferson. That's it.
That's
Point
it.
blank.
Yeah,
End of story. We don't need you to run around. We don't need you to extend the play. Just get the ball to the guys. That's all you
yeah,
need to do.
yeah.
And I don't know if he has that mentality, even at this stage in his career, to be that type of quarterback. But the Vikings being in the position that they're in, they're a little bit desperate.
yep.
They may still go ahead and pull that trigger if he makes himself available.
Mm. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, if I was you guys, Doc, seeing what I know about Kyler Murray, I would rather Malik Willis too. Um, you know, because I think he'll be more prone to learn and soak that up with O'Connell and really just kind of try to move that forward and also push JJ McCarthy a little bit and see if he's going to be ready. Boy, if y'all get Kyler Murray, I would feel bad for you. I really feel
I'd
bad
feel
for
bad
y'all.
for me too.
Hey,
Yeah.
Khalil Mack is 35 years old,
Oh,
man. I mean, hey, eh, does he have anything? I mean, he was with the Chargers last year. Let's see. I'm trying to look up his. He finished with 5 sacks and 28 pressures at 35 years old. I don't know, man. He must be signing a 1 year contract with somebody. Just kind of holding on. I think this is towards the end of his career at 35 years old. Have y'all seen him in action? Because I really didn't even hear his name that much. When it come to pass rush.
I mean, I,
I've
I
not.
haven't seen him in action, but he missed 5 games, so he played like 12 games, and had
Hmm.
almost 6 sacks. So he's still getting a sack
Hmm.
every other game, right? I think the thing is he is not a every down defender anymore. This is the guy where like, hey, Your defensive scheme is to send wave upon wave after the quarterback, and you need someone coming off the bench, third and mid, third and long, to put pressure. Like like that's where you want a Khalil Mack, right? Where he's playing 20 snaps, 30 snaps. He's not a 60, 70 snaps guy anymore. You're not going to get that kind of production out of him. But to know that he's coming in primarily in obvious passing situations and can, if you think of like the hockey equivalent, your second line, third line coming in and creating havoc while you give your quote unquote starters a rest, like that's where you want a Khalil Mack, a team that's defensive minded, looking to build like really good productive depth and not just stacking bodies.
Yeah.
He still has enough for that.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna wrap it up with this, guys. I really don't like this from what I saw. I don't even know if this is true or not. I don't know if this is true, but I hope it's not true. They said, and Lee, I think you said this individual wasn't gonna move, but the media is playing this up. They're saying Max Crosby to Dallas. That's what they're saying. They're saying Jerry Jones is gonna make a move and try to get Max Crosby there in Dallas. I don't know what they're gonna give up. Are they sending them George Pickens? George Pickens just got the franchise tag. I mean, what? I don't know. I would not like that, but I don't even know how that could happen.
Dallas has 2 first-round picks. That's the only thing they could give up would be one of those picks. That would be a foolish transaction if they do that. But this is Jerry. This is Jerry. So yeah, I didn't think Max would move or the Raiders would get rid of him. But I see why they would if they can get a bounty of picks for him. Then in that instance, it would make sense for the Raiders team to do that, the organization. And Jerry is the only one crazy enough to actually, pull something like that and give it to him for Max. Max is what, 29?
20, yeah.
Yeah, he's 29. I wouldn't give up a first round pick for Max Crosby. If I'm the Dallas Cowboys, you're not a Max Crosby away from a Super Bowl.
Right. You got a lot
Right?
of money from
you
this.
never know
You're
how
not.
these things go. I mean, look at the Patriots this year, past season, and
I know you're being tongue in cheek, but this the Cowboys we talking about, right?
but like, I'm being tongue in cheek, but there's this thread of like, you start pulling the thread, you don't know how much is going to unravel, right? Like, because the speculation, or not speculation, the discussion on Dallas radio was, right now they're saying Crosby's like a mid, like a second round draft pick, right? Like a number, like a
Okay.
for
Dallas
second
don't have
round
a
pick,
second round pick.
right? But they don't have one. So
Right.
then they were like, hey, trying to do the math, would it be Cowboys offer the 20th pick for Crosby and maybe like a third, get some other draft compensation,
Stupid.
or you offer the 12 and get Crosby and the Raiders' second round pick, right? And then folks are like, hey, honestly, with those numbers, it still doesn't quite add up. The Raiders get a little bit more out of the deal than the Cowboys do, but the Cowboys have this belief that they're trying to maximize Dak Prescott's window, which is really about 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
So they're not super excited about drafting somebody who is going to be good 2 years from now. So I think they actually are considering trying to make a trade to get someone to help boost the team immediately. But I also agree they have a lot of holes on that defense. That defense is not one player away from being good. But that's just the speculation, the stuff you're hearing on the radio. So
I'm really interested to see what Dallas is going to do with these 2 first round picks, because this draft is deep with defenders.
yes,
Right. Exactly.
And so I mean, if you trade it away and you get Max Crosby and you got 2 first rounders, I mean, with the amount of defenders that's in this defense in this draft, you could come out with 2 young studs and roll with it like that and start and you got at least 5 years, on that rookie contract to really create, some players. So I don't know. Jerry always blunders stuff, so I'm just interested to see how they're going to utilize these 2 first round draft picks that they have. That's going to be interesting for me to see.
I mean, the way to go about it is actually to actually trade down one of those first picks, and then have like a first round pick in 2 seconds, or a first round pick late second, and you have 3 potential impact players just from the draft alone, right? Because they don't have a second, they don't have a third, right? So,
Right.
yes, you can get 2 impact players at 12 and 20, but if you actually know what you're doing, you've got a Christian Parker. They actually may have a better philosophy in terms of the kind of players and what they're looking for. You actually may be able to get impact players in the second round and actually now maximize those picks. But yeah, to trade for Crosby,
They're not going to do it, right? Jerry already told you guys. He already told everybody what he was going to do. I don't know why the Dallas media they delusions of grandeur, right? They wishing that they can get a Max Crosby, or Jerry's going to pull something out of his hat to get him. That's not going to happen. Jerry said he's going to spend money on free agency for the more than he's spent in recent history. So
Yeah.
that's the direction he's going to go in. He's going to go in, spend a whole bunch of money, get some free agents to come in. They're not going to do nothing. They're not going to do anything, okay? Because I don't, outside of Hendrickson, right? I don't really. There's nobody else out there that I think in free
Yeah,
agency
I
that's
was
going to
going
come
down
in
the
and,
list.
and,
Yeah, I
and move
really
the
don't.
needle
Yeah.
like that.
Right.
Okay. So him even saying that, I'm like, what are you saying? Free agency? There's nobody out there. There's no big time free agent that's going to come in there and save the Cowboys.
No.
So
can,
yeah,
can we also qualify? I need to qualify him saying he's going to break the budget. He's going to break the
right.
budget on free agency, right? The Cowboys over the last, I think, 5 to 6 years have signed the fewest. They spend the least amount of money on free agents of any team in the league, and it's not even close. All right,
Crazy.
and they have paid the least amount of money per free agent over the last 6 years. So
Yeah.
it's quantity and quality. They've been the least, right? So breaking the budget
He's
is
breaking the
getting
piggy
to about
bank.
average.
He's breaking the piggy bank. That's what he's
Yes,
breaking. Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
yes,
That makes
yes,
sense.
yes. When your budget is this and you go
Yeah.
here, that's breaking the budget.
That
Yeah.
makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Because a couple of years
Oh
ago they
man.
was all in and
Yeah.
ain't do nothing in the
Didn't do a
offseason.
thing. They didn't pick up any free agents last year, so they didn't do a thing in free agency. So um Jerry's world, man. But yeah, I mean you got uh March 11th, free agency starts. We'll
It's
see
next
we'll see
week.
what goes down.
Yeah,
That is next week. That
It's
is
next
next
week.
week. So
Yeah.
yep.
yeah, so we'll see. That's going to be interesting to see some wheeling and dealing and some trades and stuff and all that. I know AJ Brown name is in the news a lot. So that's going to be another. That's going to be another
Patriots.
interesting.
I'm gonna ask you this every week, Links,
Yeah,
until we get some definity on this.
yeah.
AJ Brown is gonna be on the team next year.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He gonna be there, man. He gonna be there. He gonna be there.
A scale of 1 to 10. What's your confidence level in that?
I will confidently say about an 8. I'll
Yeah.
confidently say an
Okay.
8.
Okay.
AJ
Yeah,
Brown, he'll be an Eagle, man. I think people just, this just the news talking and stuff
mostly
carrying on. So
mo-
we'll
mo-
see.
mostly
Okay.
sunny skies with a slight chance of rain. Okay, okay,
Look,
we'll
now
see.
if somebody crazy enough to offer Howie a first round draft pick again, I mean, we got some receivers in this draft. You got receivers in this draft.
That's better than AJ Brown.
Well, check this out. If we could get a young player, young wide receiver, he's not going to be better than AJ Brown. But now you got Devontae move up to number 1. You get you a nice slot. You got who you going to move in the slot? You could bring Romeo Dobbs over from Green Bay since he's familiar with Sean Mannion there from Green Bay, and then you got the rookie Devontae becomes the number one. You got the rookie AJ Brown. You know, I don't know, but confidently for me, I don't think he's going anywhere. He's not an idiot. He's not gonna
Yeah.
he's not gonna get rid of AJ Brown.
You heard of Traylon Burke, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Traylon Burks, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the guy who the Titans got to replace AJ Brown.
Yeah. And he ain't ever did nothing from day one.
First round pick.
From day one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was a yeah.
Don't you got a sure thing, man. Don't mess that up.
Yeah.
Don't mess it up out
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, I don't think because they already what they have done. What I've seen is Sean Mannion was talking about how he could utilize both Devontae and AJ in this offense, and I know if I was AJ, I would be like, yeah, finally somebody who we're gonna be mixing it up a little bit, and so I want to see how this is gonna go, So yeah, he's not going anywhere, man.
Fun fact, Doc. What I think it was 2020 when you guys drafted Justin Jefferson, right?
Okay.
Do you remember where y'all picked him in the first round? Was it 12?
It was not top 5. It was like either 8 or 12. Let me see.
I think it was 12.
Well, he was at LSU.
22nd.
It was 22nd.
22nd.
Who had the 21st pick?
Ooh, let me see now. 2020 draft. This is going to be good. This
Where you
is the
going
Joe,
with this, man?
the Joe Burrow year.
Yeah, where you going with this?
The pick was Jalen Reagor
Jalen Reagor.
from TCU. From TCU. By the Philadelphia Eagles, people. By the Philadelphia Eagles. One pick too late.
I remember that. I remember now. That just refreshed my memory. I remember that, man. Boy, look at. I think that was
how y'all missed that links,
dude. I don't know, man.
Y'all could have had Justin Jefferson on that team, man.
Howie must be just coming out of the closet after Chip Kelly, man, and he was struggling. Because I remember that. I was like, how in the world, Jalen Reagor over Justin Jefferson? After what you seen they was doing at LSU? Yeah.
If y'all get a chance, go on YouTube and look up the pick when the pick went in for the Vikings, and the Vikings saw the Eagles pick Jalen Reagor. All the high fiving that was going on in that war room.
Like, look at these idiots.
In the Eagles' defense, which isn't much, the Raiders at 12 took Henry Ruggs, and the Denver Broncos took Jerry Jeudy at 15.
But those two, they would at least they were highly touted in college, right? Especially Ruggs out of Alabama.
Yeah,
But I still don't know who Jalen Reagor is. I didn't know who he was.
Yeah. That was the worst pick ever, man. That was the worst pick ever.
Must have done well at the combine. So
all I can say is Howie, you redeem yourself, Howie. But that one, that was ridiculous. That was ridiculous. Yeah. So all right, man. All right. So we'll catch back up. Next week is the free agency. So we'll see some wheeling and dealing. We'll have a lot to talk about, man, as that gets started.
Cool.
So, all right, man.
All right, fellas.
Catch you later. All right. Later.